Okay, so we've selected the Banshee and the Banshee GTS for this random race, but not the HSW Banshee and the HSW Banshee GTS. Previously, that would still mean that you would get the HSW version, but I want to see if you don't with HSW turned on or off in the lobby. And then, what else did I want to check? Oh yeah, that random respawning thing. Block random respawn vehicles. Yes. Okay. Because that's supposedly broken, but I want to see if it is. That's a Banshee GTS. Oh yeah, it works in the testing. The whole not respawning. Respawning doesn't get you a different car. It works when you're testing it, but not in the actual race itself. Yes. So HSW was turned on, but the Banshee wasn't selected in the HSW submenu, but we still get the HSW Banshee in the race. Now what happens if I turn off HSW in the lobby screen? Okay, HSW was turned off in the lobby menu. Banshee GTS. Ooh! No, there it is. There's the HSW badge. I didn't see it initially. Yeah, HSW. You get the HSW car regardless. You can't disable HSW versions of vehicles in random races. And let's check. Respawn. Then we get the Washington. So the respawning doesn't seem to... Because the sedans aren't even selected. Mesa? What is it pulling from with this? Wait, is it pulling from the default vehicles? Ingot. But then, I bet if let me just finish the lap. I bet I change into either the Banshee or the Banshee GTS. Because those are technically the only two that's selected. I think I know where this is pulling from. Actually no, because we've had the Washington and the Ingot. You can't have two separate things, but... Okay, never mind. Banshee or Banshee GTS? Yeah, so it's got the selection right on the transform. And the respawn isn't allowing you to switch to another car that you have. Or another, like, the previously the respawn would start switching between the Banshee GTS and the Banshee. Okay, now I've got a regular Banshee. Sedans. Primo again. It's just giving a bunch of sedans. Premier. Neither the Washington nor the Ingot were in the random pool anyway, neither is the Premier. Wait, are they not in the random pool? These are all traffic cars, yeah. The Banshee was too. Emperor. So it definitely the respawning cavalcade. Pretty sure they aren't according to your spreadsheet. It's definitely pulling this list from somewhere that it's not meant to. This is so weird. It seems like this selection of Primo, Ingot, Premier, Mesa, Cavalcade we had. Yeah, it's this same selection of vehicles that must be Cavalcade. It's weird that some of them aren't in the list as well. So it doesn't work correctly. Well, it technically, I guess it does work correctly. Well, it's when you've got that setting on and you respawn, you won't get any other car that you can possibly get in a random race. But you do get it's a random selection of traffic cars. But it's still better than being able to just respawn to get anything. Like if you're limited to like a Primo, an Emperor, a Cavalcade or whatever. It's so weird. To be honest, we're so late in the day with all this. I'm losing the will to care, honestly. It's not my job to test their game and point out all the issues and try to figure out what's wrong. Like the whole class listings and creator libraries and stuff is just such a mess. But you know, the setting does what's intended, which is to incentivize not respawning. But if you're in a dozer or something, then you can just respawn and get something faster. So it only does half of a job, really. And the other thing was wiki.com/random tracks. I need to remind myself of how to set these up correctly. There's currently a bug which can disable a lot of vehicles. It's caused by some vehicles in the random list being linked to other vehicles in other categories. So you leave boats enabled. That's fine. Disable HSW tier 1 and 2 every time the job gets updated. Such a faff on. We don't need the Bobcat security stockade because we've got the regular stockade, I think. Leave all those disabled. And then land military. So the Rhino. Damn it. I need to see what the there's some duplicates in here as well. The Winky, the Squaddy, the Verus, and the Crusader we don't need to select. Because those are all in other classes. And that's how we set up a random race. This is so not worth it. I know, it's such a pain in the arse. Update version. And then you've got to do that for every single track that you want to do randoms for. And then every time they release an update with new vehicles, you've got to then do it again. So now, if I load it back up again, you'll see the bug. I'm assuming they haven't fixed it. Random vehicles. Yeah, HSW tier 2 gets selected, HSW tier 1 gets selected. And then yeah. So that's why you've got to remember to just leave boats alone, because boats are connected to the sedans. And then you've got to deselect that every time you update. It's because they're elsewhere. It's such a pain in the ass. Nothing new in utility, nothing new in vans. So they haven't made the stockade raceable. That's so weird. They make the Benson, the new Benson and the new Boxville raceable for van races, but they don't include the new stockade. I thought the stockade might have become usable for regular races, but nope. Then you have to test it every time when you want to update all these tracks. Every single track you've got to update all the cars selections for. And then you've got to test it. You don't really need to update it, to be fair. The random tracks you do. But for these ones you don't, because as long as someone has the custom version of the vehicle, they can select it, even if it's not selected in the creator. It's just the stock version that you can't get, which doesn't really matter so much these days. Stockade was made by a different intern. The Stockade is in the commercial class, but so is the Benson, and so is the Boxville, and the Mule, which are all raceable in van races. In addition, the Stockade is in the Vans creator library for transform races and random races, but it's not in the Vans class for regular races. It's such a mess. So basically nothing's been fixed. But then, are you ready for this? I've already seen this, but I need to check it for myself. This is fantastic. Okay, so now we're in a transform race, just a standard transform race, which has a couple of classes that the random races don't. Now that obviously random races have land military, which has some of these, but obviously the transform races have the police class, which random races don't. But they've added a new car to the police class. Obviously, we've always had these. This is the old police bike, by the way, not the new one. And they didn't add anything, and, you know, all the new, shiny, brand new police cars that you can buy for millions and millions you can't use in transform races, random races, whatever. You still can't use them in random races because this class just doesn't exist. But they did add one car, the Dominator FX Interceptor. So, the Dominator FX Interceptor can now be used in transform races. Nothing else. None of the rest of the police cars, but the Dominator FX Interceptor can, for some reason. Don't know why just that one, but yeah, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand why they add that. Well, like, someone's made a conscious decision to add that to the police creator library so that it can be used in transform races, but not anything else. Maybe that's used in one of their own races or something that they've created. So, yeah, it's crazy. And then obviously none of these can be used in random races because they added the military class to random races, but not the police class to random races. And you can't use any of these in regular races. It's just, it makes no sense. Make it make sense.